or introduction to her family channel.
You have to take them apart, don't you?
Yeah, when you get this now, they have to assemble this for you, you know. Hope you're having a beautiful Monday. Hope you're having a blessed time. Safe. My dear, may I try to keep you safe. I look like we have a soon start cut back.
Mom and Dad aren't here. They went in St. Mary, and you guys is just a little
I may have sweet potatoes. I'm gonna make a little sweet potatoes salad. So until we see you again on this camera, it's gonna be. Hey YouTube family, welcome back to our family channel. Thanks for being a part of our family channel. Thank you for, let our channel been growing. We are growing surely but surely steadily. Thanks so much for the love. Thanks so much for the support. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to get yourselves just a lovely homemade bread, in your kitchen. We are opting to get a loaf for this size. That's a regular loaf pan. It doesn't matter if it's Pyrex, glass, whatever. It can be plastic. I think they have plastic like these. I don't know how they work. Anyway, inside here we have got 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons of light brown sugar, and 1 tablespoon and a little pinch of instant yeast. If you're using active dry yeast, you can use the packet, but you have to proof it in the warm water. You do that a little different. Okay, inside here I've got a teaspoon of salt. So right here we have got some water, yeah, and right here I am gonna put my salt into the water. You see, I have all my dry ingredients, so I'm gonna be putting my oil. You can use whatever oil. Melted butter could be a thing too, but I just want to use the oil. You could use milk to substitute the water. So what I'm gonna do, I think my water is a bit too warm, yes, so I'm gonna let my water cool down a bit, and then I'll come back to you. This is how easy making a loaf of bread is. As I said before, you can put milk. Some people put milk powder. They use all different sort of things, but this is the easiest, cheapest, and the simplest one. I'm gonna let my water cool down a bit, and I'll come back. So our water has cooled down a bit. If you're using a thermometer, you would use like a thing from about between 105 to somewhere there about 110 or 108 or something. If not, I don't have one, so all you need to do is to just tip it on your hand, as you would do, as we long time mothers would do with our baby cereal. Okay, so once it's at that point that it's like that, you can use it. I don't normally do it like that, but if you have your thermometer, you can use it. So I'm gonna put not all, but most of it, and this was like probably about 1.75 cups of water. And as I said, you could use your milk and all of that. So we're gonna get it come together on the low. We're gonna be mixing it, and as it mixes and gets along, and did I tell you, you're gonna be using, you're gonna be using the dough up part of your kitchen aid. You could do this by hand and you omit the kitchen aid, but it's gonna take a lot of work, a whole heap of shoulder movements. If you can manage that, you can go ahead, because the dough has got to be at a certain consistency for this bread. I'm gonna pour the rest of this water in there, and I'm gonna be mixing it again. Start it on the low. So we are gonna mix right there, and you see it's coming together, and you're gonna mix. It gets so soft, it's gonna mix and mix until it starts coming around on the edges of the bowl. So you have got to mix this with your mixer until for about 8 to 10 minutes thereabout. Probably 8, 7, 8, yeah, depending on your mixer or what you're using. Okay, so it's pretty soft there. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna mix it for quite a bit more minutes, and then as it mixes and starts cleaning the sides of the bowl, coming together, then the yeast will start showing its elasticity, and all of that. We're going to mix it like that, and when we return, you'll see what is happening. So we are back, fam, and you see how it's mixing and it's spreading the mixture, the dough, around to the side of the bowl. So it's mixing there, and if you notice, every now and then it has a little stretch and it itches to the side of the bowl. It's not mixed as yet. That is how it's going to work. So you'll have to mix it consistently or continually until everything starts coming together, and then it starts pulling away from the side of the bowl to form a clump of dough inside the bowl. So we're going to do that and return to you. Okay, now fam, this is our soft dough. I lightly floured surface. I want to say something to you about bread making. Bread making is the easiest thing, and it can be the hardest thing. Why? Because of the type of flour. What I want you to do whilst you're mixing in your mixer, you want to stick around. Don't leave it just for that 10 minutes. You want to stick around. Look at when it starts making the gluten, when it starts to get stretchy and all of that inside there. What you want to do is to pay some attention. So if you're mixing for like a pretty good 6 to 7 minutes and it's not pulling away from the sides, you can tip a little more flour, a little bit at a time. Sometimes with the nature of the flour, it might not even pull away from the sides. So you got to be careful. But as you go, I want you to find a flour. All purpose is not the best. The best one is the bread flour or the baking flour. I did not have baking flour. I've used all-purpose flour to make bread on many occasions and it comes out, but there are so many different types of all-purpose flour. So you might do your bread and it doesn't come out good for the first time. Don't panic. It has to do with the nature, the level of gluten in the flour. Okay? So lightly floured surface and it's out. It's not supposed to be sticking. So you're going to put in a little kneading. Not too much, not too crazy. Put in a little kneading here. And it's not to be sticking, and you don't want to flour your surface too heavy, because you don't want this dough getting too soft. Put in a little kneading, folding, tucking in at all times. Make sure, say, you ball it up and you tuck it in at all times, and you have it and it's not sticking to your hand. That is what you want. You want to mix it into your mixer. And remember, when you use your mixer, you are taking about 15 to almost 20 minutes out of kneading after your hand. So that is why I said 8 to 10, depending on your mixer. You can probably go 12 too. So you want to just have it in a ball and you want to give it a little knead. Remember, this is bread, so you want to knead it until you see it starts. So you don't have a lot of hard kneading now, If you see it sticking to your surface, you might have to use a little more flour. If it's not, you go ahead. As you see mine here, it's sticking. So what I want to do, you just want to knead it till when you look, you see it's not sticking neither to your hands nor to the surface. So I'm going to do a little more of that and come back. So here we are now, fam. It's not sticking to the hand and it's not sticking to the surface. So we want to get our oil right now. We're gonna grease a container. Whether you want to use melted butter or oil, any oil, it don't really matter, because the purpose of the oil is just to let it do not stick to the container. That's the purpose of the oil right here. And you want to fold it. Just get like a nice ball. Ball it up. Rub around the sides. Camera girl says she likes to cover it with grease, with plastic wrap. So we'll get the plastic wrap and come. I don't mind. I cover it with just my towel and it works out. But to each of us is our own. So you can use your plastic wrap if you feel comfortable, or you can use your towel. You can also use your parchment paper to cover it. Gonna cover it 1 hour. You give it in a very warm place, and after the 1 hour we'll come back to see how it goes. Okay, now family, So after about 1 hour, sometimes depending on where you are, if the temperature is not too warm, and as you can see in the prayer clip, I am very warm here. So that is good for the yeast dough, the temperature. So you want to get out. You see them bubbles? Yeah, you want to get them out. Turn it over, you see how it's nice and soft. So now you're going to flour your surface again lightly. Lightly means you don't want to have too much. You don't want, just want to have your flour all spread out. And you can see it. It's just moist and soft. So you just want to have a little flour. I want to remove this. So you want to give it a few folds in. Give it a few folds in. Oh, so could I use the same pan cob? We want it to change to this pan family. Few tucks, giving it a few tucks. You don't want to work it too much, you know, because we have to proof it again, okay? So we'll give it a few tucks. And I'm going to use my hand. Some people roll. I'm just going to tuck it out to about the length of this pan here. And then kind of slightly, not too hard. So I'm going to do that. I'll take a little time and return. Just push it out like this to the length of this pan. So gently give it a little fold. Fold depending on you, you know, or you want to fold it, shaping it into a dough, you know. So see the pan there, yep. Because remember, we're going to proof it again. What I'm going to do now, I have a little melted butter. This says non-stick, but me always like take precautions. So I am doing this. I'm soon come. Okay, now family, so I have grease. I'm a grease all up too, because most of the times with this, the bread come right over and on top to form that loaf there. Okay, so see we have our pan here. And you have a fold, you must try and seal it under there. So you're going to put it with the fold side down. So you're going to gently lift it now to form into your pan. You want it stuck and have it all set and in your pan whilst it stays there and it rises and does its own thing. You want to have it in the pan just like this. So what we're going to do now, we're going to brush it again with a little melted butter whilst we leave it to proof under plastic. We're going to plastic it again. Camera girl, she loves the plastic. I am not so much of the plastic person, but we're going to do this and leave it to proof for a second time. This time it will be about 30 minutes. So after that, we'll be ready to bake and we soon come. Okay, now family, so this is our bread and it has been proofed for the second time and it comes right up to the top there. And it looks like a bread and it doesn't start baking. It's soft to the touch and all of that. And you want to, if the plastic had made a little smudge, you just fix it out back and all of that. You don't want to too trouble it now though and all of that. Now I've preheated at 190 Celsius. So it's between 190 and 200. If you are using Fahrenheit, you can do the math. Now you want to put it in there in the middle. So it's gonna bake for about 20 to 25 minutes. If you bake, some people might bake at 175 for 40 minutes, but I don't go so long, you know. So you must know how you want to do it. So this is our bread and you want to put it in the middle. If you choose to put it this way, if there are more than one, at the halfway interval, you have got to come and spin it around. So it's just this one only, so I'll put it across right there. So 180 and 190. I think I should remove this rack here. This rack is pretty close. In case it won't go bathe it going too bad in there. So yeah, 190 right in there for about 25 minutes. Check it though, check it in case it's getting too, you don't want it all dried out. Okay, so after 25 minutes thereabout to half an hour at the 190, we'll come back and show you what we have. Okay, you might too want to go, if it's getting too crispy at the top, pull it out and put on a little more melted butter during the baking. So it's there, that is it. And now people might want to think a bread is hard to bake. It's not hard. A yeast, well, every bread mostly a yeast bread. It's hard to bake, or a yeast bun. It's not hard. It is just the time that you use to proof it that is long. Remember, it doesn't take a long time to mix up in the mixer. It doesn't, all the little stuff that you see we do here, it doesn't take a long time. It looks like it's long, okay? But remember, when you leave it to proof, you can be doing so many stuff, you know? And as I said before, a bread to bake can be the easiest thing and it can be the hardest thing due to the flour. If you decide to start making your bread at home, make sure as you go along, you try to learn this technique that we are sharing here. I'm not sure if I myself have learned it all the way. I wouldn't say that, you know, because as you go along, you meet upon the flour. The difference in the type of flour can make so much. So you have got to learn as you go along. Try to learn, try to pick up little bits and bits there of what you have done or what you are doing. To each time you make your bread, you perfect your bread making more and more. So in the next clip, we'll see what is happening. It is a work in process, and as soon as we master it, then you will know where you go wrong and all of that. We're trying to make our very own bread at home. And if for the very first time you do it and it does not come out successful, do not beat yourself. Go again, maybe you have the wrong flour. And as I said before, when choosing flour, make sure it says bread flour or baking flour specifically. All-purpose flour too, but as I tell you, some of the all-purpose flour, they are not all the same. Different texture. Some of them high in gluten, some lower in a gluten. And when you find the one that is low in gluten, you have a huge problem. So opt for baking flour, or better yet, personally, bread flour. And then I think you'll have the better result each time when using the bread flour. So when that is true, we'll come back to you. Okay, now family, our bread is out of the oven. And as with any bake product, you just want to put and you want to test. Just to the middle, and it's okay. So to the top here now, it's sort of crispy. Okay, so what we want to do, I just want to brush it as it's still warm. We're gonna let it stay as with any other baked stuff on the
wire rack?
Yeah, in the pan for about another, until it cools down for about 15 to 20 minutes. Then we can remove the bread directly from the wire rack now, and then we can put it on. We can remove the bread from the pan, put it onto the wire rack to directly to be properly cool. So whilst it's cooling down, this butter will moisten the top and all of that. So okay family, out now, and it's relatively soft. As with any bread, this is the bottom, this is the top, and you saw the pan. We could probably go for a smaller pan. So it's relatively still warm. Not sure if we can cut it, but we're gonna try. Just try to cut it from this end. So as with any baked product, we have to cut it to make you see it's soft to the top right there, and it's warm. Who doesn't like warm bread with butter or with cheese? Wow. And this is a beauty. Come on girl, shoot them, put them upon this nice sandwich bread. Wow, this is so nice family. Comment. So look at this. This is it. This is the texture, and then this cool down, it will still have this texture but just a little firmer. So this is our bread, and as I said to you before, bread making is very easy, but you have to work on a technique to get it. Now this is just like regular sandwich bread. This is not like, if you want to get it harder and firmer, you might have to definitely get the bread flour, and you'd have to, when you're rolling it out, as I say, it's a lot of, there are different types of bread, so you have got to develop a technique. But this is the, you know, basic sandwich bread where I use in any household. So I just want to say thank you for staying. I'm gonna leave the amount of little ingredients that we use. It's not a lot, either 5 or 6. It can be the easiest thing and it can be the hardest thing, but it takes a little time to perfect it. The technique, it takes a little time. I haven't done bread in probably about 16 years from Camera Girl was a baby, and I did mine with my hand. I would say the KitchenAid mixer has played a very, very vital role, yeah, to bring out that gluten in that flour to make you have this. So this is what we have. This is what it looks like. Again, it's so soft. I really want a butter, but my girl said, Mommy, the butter, the butter finish. But that's how it goes. So see it, we have it. We have our bread here, just like bread. I have cheese. Wow, look at this. I would encourage you to try to start making your own bread. So as it cools down properly, you want to put it in a plastic bag, properly cool. Okay, and then you can store it in your refrigerator. If you want to make more, 2 or 3, and you can freeze them. I don't know only freeze them how to do it. Sorry for eating, but you know it go. This is the softest and moistest bread you can ever make at home. I want you to try it. If you're facing any problems and you want to get on to me, you know I leave my number in the description. So I hope that you will try it. Let me know it goes. Maybe some of you are quite familiar with making bread already, but as I said, if you have not yet done it, just try to work on it. It is the technique that is going to bring it through, and it's a flour. Thanks for staying with me on this video. Hope you will like. Remember to like if you have reached so far on this video. Remember to make sure you like the video if you think it so deserves a like. Remember to make sure you're subscribed. When you subscribe, remember to press the notification bell and make sure it says you press the option that says all. Okay, thank you. We are growing slowly but surely. Thanks for the love on the hair video. A lot of people have been reaching out. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the watch and that. And you want to look out for another hair video coming again. And people are asking about castor oil. No, I am not selling. I bought it from Kimmy's mom. But probably if you want to, I could you could just call Kimmy and they would get it for you. Kimmy's mom buys it for me. I am not in the business of selling castor oil. And that is the authentic one. That is the real one. So I am gonna say ciao for now, and until we see you again on the next video, we're gonna be leaving our post notification right up there. Remember to start making some bread in this quarantine, in this time here. Make some bread. I don't have a loaf of bread in my home for how many weeks now, and this is our bread. It's soft to the touch. As it cools down, it will get softer. Thanks for staying with us, and remember to make sure you watch our ads. Thank you so much again.